Got it? You want a gripping, first-person, PG-rated YouTube-style narrative that begins with a gut-punch hook, dives into pain and relentless pursuit, climbs through intense struggle, and ends with poetic justice and a deeply satisfying happy ending, all in George Blackman's urgent conversational tone. Here's your story. The broken soil. Hook, the shattering moment. They didn't even look me in the eye when they told me. Just slid the envelope across the desk, as if my career, 10 years of soil research, community projects, and late nights in greenhouses, was nothing more than a memo to be filed. Your services are no longer required. I knew why. I'd reported them, my own employers, for quietly dumping illegal pesticides into the city's greenbelt, chemicals that seeped into the very earth we were supposed to protect, and now the truth had cost me everything. Walking out of that building felt like standing in the wreckage of a home you'd built with your own hands, forced to leave while the flames still burned. But in that moment, as the door clicked shut behind me, a single thought cut through the humiliation like sunlight through smoke. If they've poisoned the soil, then I'll heal it. Painful departure and relentless pursuit asterisk. I left my office with nothing but a battered notebook and a stubborn belief that the earth could be reborn, even in the ugliest corners of the city. The idea was wild, even laughable, biochar farming in abandoned urban lots, turning waste biomass into charcoal-like soil enhancer, recharging ground that had been dead for decades. Friends smiled politely. Former colleagues shook their heads. One investor actually chuckled, hippie nonsense, economically impossible. But I couldn't shake the vision. I walked empty streets, staring at cracked asphalt and weeds pushing through rusted fencing, imagining green canopies where there was only dust. Every day I carried sacks of charred plant matter into those lots. Every night I tested soil samples under a single flickering bulb. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't profitable, it wasn't even sensible, at least not yet. But it was mine. Asterisk arduous ascension and profound triumph asterisk. The first season was a disaster. Rain turned the lots into sludge pits, my hands blistered, my small team dwindled to just me. But under the microscope, something miraculous began to emerge. The soil, once grey and lifeless, was sprouting microlife again, fungal threads, tiny insect colonies, invisible ecosystems knitting themselves back together. Year 2, the first vegetables appeared, deep green leaves, rich in nutrients. By year 3, urban schools were visiting our plots, planting their own food, learning how carbon could be locked away in the earth instead of the sky. Then came the call. A city council member wanted to meet. They'd read my research. They'd seen the transformation, how our biochar beds absorbed toxins, restored fertility, and cooled surrounding streets in summer heat. Funding followed, partnerships grew. The same newspapers that once ignored me now ran front-page stories about the soil revolution. Cathartic return and poetic justice asterisk. One spring morning, I walked back into that corporate headquarters, the place where they dismissed me without a glance. Not as an employee seeking work, but as a keynote speaker for their sustainability conference. Standing on their stage, I told the story, not with bitterness but with proof. Proof in the form of thriving gardens, cleaner air, and healthier communities. Proof that what they called hippie nonsense had become a cornerstone of the city's climate resilience plan. When I finished, there was silence, then applause. Even the executives rose to their feet. I left that day knowing the soil wasn't the only thing that had healed. I had too, because sometimes when the ground beneath you is broken, it's not the end. It's the perfect place to plant something new. If you'd like, I can also adapt this into a asterisk tight, punchy YouTube script format asterisk, with micro pauses, emotional beats, and retention hooks baked into the structure so it's optimized for viewer engagement. Would you like me to do that next?